Cipher Mining, trading under the ticker CIFR, opened the new week with a significant move to the upside. The stock closed on Monday, the 24th of November, at $16.71, finishing the session up $2.56, or approximately 18.09%. The broader market was positive on the day, with major indices showing gains across sectors and technology stocks in particular advancing after a period of recent volatility. The upward movement in Cipher Mining's share price followed a sequence of major developments in the company's operations and contract portfolio announced over the prior 2 weeks. Earlier in November, Cipher Mining announced a 15-year agreement with Amazon Web Services involving a high-density compute lease valued at approximately $5.5 billion. This agreement established a long-term hosting partnership between the two companies and represented a major shift in Cipher Mining's strategic positioning. The contract calls for the deployment of high-performance compute infrastructure at sites developed and operated by Cipher Mining, including planned facilities in Texas. The AWS agreement contributed to a substantial increase in the market's awareness of Cipher Mining's transition from its original focus on Bitcoin mining toward AI-oriented infrastructure hosting. The company also announced a separate 10-year agreement with FluidStack for additional AI hosting services. Under this contract, Cipher Mining will provide approximately 39 megawatts of critical IT load capacity, supported by up to 56 megawatts of gross capacity, at the Barber Lake data center site. The initial value of this agreement is estimated at $830 million, with extension options that could increase the total value to approximately $2 billion. Google expanded its financial backstop related to the FluidStack partnership, adding additional layers of support and verification for the commitments involved. These developments further strengthened the company's long-term revenue trajectory. The stock experienced volatility in the days following the announcement of these agreements. Markets reacted with initial enthusiasm as Cipher Mining briefly accelerated in price, reaching higher levels earlier in the month. However, subsequent sessions saw selling pressure as investors weighed broader macroeconomic factors, concerns about high-growth technology stocks, and volatility in AI-related sectors. Declines in the Nasdaq and segments of the technology market during the previous week contributed to the downward movement in related high-beta stocks, including Cipher Mining. Despite the significance of the new long-term agreements, the company's stock price drifted lower into the end of the prior week. Monday's strong upward move occurred in the context of renewed optimism toward AI-related companies following the release of earnings from NVIDIA in the prior week. NVIDIA's financial results showed continued high demand for artificial intelligence compute systems and data center infrastructure. These results indicated ongoing expansion in AI workloads and were accompanied by commentary confirming capacity shortages, strong order pipelines, and sustained demand for power-intensive hosting environments. These themes are directly relevant to companies such as Cipher Mining that operate data center infrastructure with access to scalable power resources. The combination of NVIDIA's strong earnings and Cipher Mining's recently announced hosting agreements created conditions that aligned with renewed investor interest. The Monday session reflected increased trading volume, significant inflows into high-beta technology names, and broad participation across AI infrastructure-related equities. Cipher Mining, which had recently completed a large offering of senior secured notes to support the build-out of its facilities, continued to draw attention as investors considered the long-term implications of the company's strategic pivot. Cipher Mining's infrastructure development continues to focus on large-scale sites in Texas, including Barber Lake and Colchis. These sites are central to the company's ability to fulfill long-term compute hosting contracts. Construction and commissioning of these facilities require substantial capital investment, and revenue from certain contracts will not be recognized until these facilities reach operational status. The timing of revenue recognition tied to these agreements varies according to construction milestones and scheduled activation dates. The company's recent issuance of $1.4 billion in secured notes is intended to fund these operational build-outs. The Barber Lake site will serve as the location for both AI hosting agreements announced in November. This site is being developed to support high-density compute infrastructure suitable for AI training and inference workloads. The ability to activate capacity according to contracted timelines will play a central role in determining the financial performance of the company in future periods. Monday's price movement may reflect investors incorporating the company's expanding pipeline of long-term agreements into their assessments of future revenue. The AWS contract, the FluidStack contract, and the associated financial backstops provide multi-year commitments that extend well beyond the company's historic Bitcoin mining business model. These agreements also position the company within a new sector of high-density compute hosting that is experiencing strong demand and limited supply. The broader market environment on Monday contributed to the positive price movement. The Nasdaq, S&P 500, and related indices opened the week with upward momentum. Strong performance across semiconductor and AI-linked stocks reinforced the sentiment driving exposure to companies involved in AI infrastructure. High beta names in general often experience amplified responses during such sessions. Cipher Mining has demonstrated this pattern on multiple previous occasions, responding strongly to both institutional interest and macroeconomic shifts. The stock's 18% gain on Monday aligns with previous periods in which Cipher Mining responded to external catalysts combined with internal news flow. Earlier this month, the stock moved sharply after the AWS announcement. The Monday session appears to represent another instance of the market repricing the company's evolving role within the AI hosting ecosystem. Operationally, the company continues to progress through the development stages required to meet its long-term commitments. Construction updates, equipment procurement, power activation schedules, interconnection timelines, and associated regulatory considerations remain ongoing. These internal milestones will remain important factors affecting the company's timelines for revenue realization. The stock's movement on Monday may also reflect adjustments from short-term traders, algorithmic activity, and shifts in risk exposure among institutional participants. High volatility equities such as Cipher Mining often attract trading from quantitative strategies that respond to momentum, volume, and correlation signals. The alignment of positive market conditions, strong sector momentum, and recent contract announcements forms a backdrop in which sharp upward movements can occur during intraday trading. The current phase of Cipher Mining's operational development involves significant capital expenditure, long-term contract delivery, and large-scale construction. The financial results for upcoming quarters will likely continue to reflect development stage expenditures rather than revenue tied to the newly announced agreements. These considerations are part of the broader context contributing to variability in stock performance. Monday's close at $16.71 marks one of the strongest single-day percentage gains for the company in recent weeks. The movement follows a period of consolidation after steep declines and a recovery from lower price levels. The strength observed in the Monday session contributes to establishing a new reference point for the stock as it enters the next trading week and approaches new operational milestones. Cipher Mining remains engaged in expanding its long-term hosting capacity and fulfilling commitments associated with agreements signed in November. The company's transition toward AI hosting places it within a rapidly evolving industry in which demand for high-density compute infrastructure continues to increase globally. The performance of the stock will continue to respond to updates on facility construction, market sentiment toward AI infrastructure, broader macroeconomic conditions, and future disclosures of operational progress.